guys, welcome back to SOP Talks. This is episode 2. We hope you enjoyed the first one out on our YouTube page now. We're going to start cranking these out every week, and eventually we're going to start going live. Today we have a guest. We will talk more about Mr. Nick a little bit later. But first, we're going to start with our first segment called Tihinete. Tihinete, Paul.
So yeah, today we will be discussing a couple of different things. Our main subject is going to be the Rising Suns Conference. At least up here, it's getting a little warmer. I'm starting to enjoy the weather, at least go outside a little bit. Still self-isolating, but enjoying the nice sunny weather. And it got me reminiscing a little bit about our Rising Suns Conference that happened back in February. Seems like it was our last hurrah before all this quarantine had to happen. And, it was a good opportunity for us to come together in Brotherhood at the Economou Center in South Carolina and perform some community service, do a little bit of professional development, and, come together for a little bit of social networking as well. So we have one of our guests today. Nick Economou is the chapter president of Seattle and also one of our Rising Suns after hosting what was an amazing first tournament in Seattle, our Greeks in Seattle event back in January. Round of applause for the great work done by Seattle. For all who were able to attend, they know what kind of a great time it was. And we're hoping to do the same thing maybe in future years. And we wanted to have Nick on to kind of go around and just kind of reminisce a little bit about Rising Suns Conference, talk about what a great time it was, share the experiences that we had with everyone. So Nick, please, feel free to tell us how you felt about the conference, what kind of time you had that weekend, and just share your thoughts on it.
Yeah, it was an awesome weekend. Definitely good to get to know everybody better. I've met mostly everyone there before, but good to connect more and just build those relationships. It was my first time in South Carolina, so it was really cool as well, just to explore new territory. I had a ton of fun. The community service we did, building the fire pit, was a bunch of fun. We had to dig it out and level it, use these stones, and build a really cool fire pit for the camp, and just explore and hang out with the brothers in the Suns. It was a ton of fun. I hope that we can do it next year or have a different group out there and build upon what we did this year.
Paul, would you like to touch on a little bit about what the Rising Suns is? Just a little quick plug. It was Paul's idea. It was a phenomenal idea. Of course, we're here to talk about the weekend that we spent together. But for those who don't know what the Rising Suns program is, do you want to give a brief description of that?
Sure. Quick for what the Rising Suns program is meant to be. Our thought coming into the year is always looking for to train future leaders, not only in the Suns organization. Of course, we have the Supreme Lodge, but we're always looking for people to come up and be the next year's Supreme Lodge or Supreme Lodge down the road, and also to be tomorrow's leaders of the community. So the Rising Suns is supposed to be just that, where we get our best and brightest, our chapter leaders, our presidents, our chapter officers, even general members, and put them on national committees. And this does a few things. It allows them, number one, I think it allows them to get a sense of what it's like to serve on a national level, so that they can think about maybe serving on the Supreme Lodge down the road, get a little bit of training on what kind of skills and responsibilities are required to do so. And it also, we try to put everybody on committees based on their personal skills or professional interests. For example, we have somebody who's very big on computer programming on our digital services committee. We have a marketing major in Loyola who's on our social media and marketing committee. And that was kind of our second, one of our goals at least, was to offer some professional development. And I know for us, speaking, I think on behalf of all the Supreme Lodge, we really took this opportunity to get to know our members better. It kind of has allowed us to build a better relationship with people like Nick and some other people of our Rising Suns program who, we otherwise would talk to here and there or at events or through text messages and emails infrequently. And this, putting them on the committees, allowed us to communicate with them a lot more and have a little bit of a more personal relationship, which I think has been fantastic, at least from my point of view.
For sure. Awesome. Thank you. So before we move on to our next segment with Tim, I briefly want to touch on the fact that, we did have this weekend, and it was a fantastic weekend. The four of us were there, in addition to, I believe, what was it? Do we have 8 guys come out?
Yeah, eight or nine. Yeah, good turnout for our first one.
Yeah, we brought them down. We went to South Carolina. There is a camp there, an Orthodox camp where every year, excuse me, there's at least 5 weeks of camp, a full week for, camp lasts 1 week overnight, and kids from all over the Southeast, sometimes other areas show up, and, it's housing, 500 plus kids every summer. It got hit by a tornado early last year, and it still hasn't been fully rebuilt, fully cleaned up. So we were looking for something to do, and it was right there in front of us. But we're looking to continue this, not only the program, but to continue this type of service. I know from Tim personally, Camp Met up in Canada, and I know that the metropolis of Boston, they have their own camp, and I'm sure that there are other camps. So we'd love to hear from you, not only if you're interested in being a Rising Sun, but if you know of a camp or some type of youth organization or youth center that needs some, a little bit of TLC, a little bit of care, a little bit of love. We're here to give them that love. We're here to give you that love too, because we love you. We do. All right. So before we get on to Tanya, I also want to say Tim is a fantastic craftsman. I learned that during Rising Suns weekend. Very good with the hammer and the drill. Great tool man, Tim. Now we're going to move on to Tanya with Tim. In the future, we're going to have, Suns news, what's going on and everything. But you want to tell them what we got going on now, Tim?
So right now we're constantly working on things for you guys and how to keep everyone involved. One new thing we're going to be working on is sending out a chapter report form. So this form just keeps us updated on what's going on in your chapter, and as well as just bringing us up to date with you guys and keeping us more in touch with you guys too, I think is the important part of that. Otherwise, there's a few other things we're working on behind the scenes, and we'll get that to you guys soon.
Absolutely. We will definitely reach out as soon as we know anything. Last episode, I know we touched on Disney. I think we briefly brought up New York. We are still unsure about whether these events are going to happen or not. We hope, of course, but we are still unsure.
I would too, for everyone who's listening, make sure to keep in, we're going to try to get a summarized list, but make sure to keep in touch with your districts and stay informed on what's going on with district convention. I know, that's always a fun time for people in the states or the districts, regions to get together, but it does look like a good bit, because they're a little earlier, of district conventions are being canceled or postponed, being held virtually. So, get in contact. If you don't know for sure, if you don't have a district contact for some reason, reach out to one of us, and, we can help you find out. I know there were a couple districts that already canceled, and we might know that information already, but stay on top of that, because that's always a great opportunity to get involved a little more locally. But it looks like this year we've already had to make the districts have already had to make a couple tough decisions on that. So.
Well, I think it's even gone to the point where testimonials are getting canceled too. Like, I know Grand President for the Daughters, Celia's, which is supposed to be in Calgary, has been postponed, but they haven't set a date yet. So that's
they usually do theirs in May, so it's a little earlier.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Tatiana's was last year here too. So that's been indefinitely postponed, just as a basis for because I'm assuming if they do that with testimonials, they'll probably do that for district conventions. Like, I don't know. I would assume so for ours at least.
Yeah, there's a few. I think it's up. I think so far it seems it's up to the districts. They have to decide. So communication has been coming in, and if anybody doesn't have that communication, feel free to reach out to us. We're aware of a few that have canceled, but some others are still on. So either reach out to us or your district contacts, and we can work that out.
And for our third segment, we're going to turn to Jan for Atletica.
Postponed. No, I'm just kidding. There hasn't been really much news. Everything's kind of still in a standstill. The only thing that's really been updated is golf. They've postponed some of the world's biggest majors. If anyone's into golf, the Masters has been postponed to a later date for the first time ever. And the Brits are kind of getting their own. I don't know. There's no British Open this year. Other than that, everything just continues to get canceled and postponed. So back to you, Ryan.
Well, that was enlightening, and we all thoroughly enjoyed that. For our
Before we get
final
off of that, though, Ryan,
Yes.
we were talking about baseball earlier. I don't know, Nick, you want to fill us in on?
Yeah, just before you guys came on, we were discussing some of the interesting ways that some of the sports were adapting to this new environment we have. I know, Nick, go ahead and lead us off with baseball. We've got
in Arizona.
Absolutely, yeah. They're gonna try and do baseball in Arizona, since that's where they do a lot of their spring training. They have a bunch of different fields that are available to use. So they want all Major League Baseball teams in hotels, in isolation in Arizona, with staff that's only crucial, and then using doubleheader games, 7 innings each game instead of the 9 innings. Using a virtual strike zone rather than having the umpire behind the plate, so limiting contact between players and staff. So it's a possibility. The Control Center for Disease has already approved of it, so it's
Really?
possible that it'll happen. Center for Disease Control, sorry. Yeah, so it could definitely happen. And then we talked about basketball. Paul, you want to go with that one with the?
Yeah, that's one thing that I heard that I thought was really interesting. So apparently, because they can't play actual games, they're considering putting together a horse tournament based on players who have home gyms. They're going to play a horse virtually with each other. So you're talking, I don't know what kind of players they're going to get. I don't know if they're going to get like a rookie from a small town team, or if they're going to get like LeBron James, people like that.
You said with the home gym, right? So probably
I know.
not the
Say that again, Yanni?
Well, you said anyone with a home gym, so I don't know if all the rookies nowadays have.
Well, that they immediately, unfortunately, ruled out Yannis, because even Yannis doesn't have a home gym. So,
Yannis doesn't have a home gym.
I'm surprised by that too. But I'm just interested to see a bunch of NBA players playing horse. I think that could be really
I
interesting.
think WNBA was a part of that as well. I think they said that it was going to be both.
That makes sense. I mean, yeah, I think all the different leagues are trying to adapt however they can, and it's been pretty cool, I think, to see. I know even the NFL is still doing their draft on schedule. They're just going to do it virtually, which I don't know how I feel. Part of me, I'm excited the draft is going to happen because I want to see different teams get new players. But at the same time, if I'm in the front office of a major, NFL team, and you're telling me that no pro days, very limited contact, I've got to make a decision that could affect the next 5, 10, 15 years of my franchise, I'm not too happy about that. So I know there's been a lot of backlash from like a professional standpoint for people who are in the business. But I'm sure the fans are pleased to have something to look forward to. But it's been, for me at least, it's been interesting to see all the different sports try to, adapt to this new environment we have. And just in general, everybody using technology in ways that were definitely possible before. We just didn't have a need to do or had a reluctance to. And this is kind of forcing us to evolve a lot faster as a society, I think, than we thought we would have to, which is, for those who are okay with that sort of progression, I think has been really interesting to watch. And just, I think at this point, just being ahead of the curve.
To drop back to basketball real quick, behind your right shoulder.
Yeah, he put that there. You guys didn't see that?
You mean my tournament trophy from Greeks in Seattle? The one we won? Keep the trophy in the back? Oh, yeah.
Vic, is right now you have it on loan for a little longer than we thought you would since Greeks in Atlanta.
Yeah, you're going to have that for a while.
So you got a 3-month lease that turned into at least a 6-month lease, maybe longer. We'll see. You got a very good deal on that trophy.
Might as well show everyone the new and improved trophy, actually. I'd love it.
Nice. I haven't engraved it yet, but this is the new trophy. And it'll be passed around to each tournament, and each team that wins will get to have their team name engraved in the trophy and get to bring it to the next tournament. So right now, Seattle's got it.
Whenever that may be, folks. Let's hope it's soon.
Hopefully, we get to keep this, though.
New trophy this year. That's going to be good for the next 3 seasons, including this one, and seasons. That's a funny term. But for the Suns League, our upcoming season, we're going to, sort of send the trophy around. You can engrave your name. We'll engrave your name for you. But we will have that, and whoever gets it next will see who there is to beat, who has won the most. So you keep winning them, you keep getting your name all over that trophy. So we think it'll be a good time. Speaking about being passed around, we are going to our last segment, Yira, where we're going to go around and just talk about, what we want to talk about in a little op-ed piece. We think that you guys enjoyed that a little bit. We'd love some topics from you guys. Hopefully when we go live, it'll be a lot more of, rat-a-tat. A little bit of rat, a little bit of tat. If anybody got that reference. Anyways, I'm going to open it up a little bit. I know last week we were talking about things that we've done on quarantine. So Nick, you want to share with us, kind of how you're spending your time inside, what you're doing differently before we kind of get to the new discussion?
Yeah, absolutely. As you know, I live in Washington State, and all of our schools are shut down and doing online school. As a PE teacher, it's quite difficult to teach PE without being with the students. So I've actually been learning how to edit videos and create videos of myself, and I theme them for the students. I did an Iron Man video in a costume, and I did a Batman one for the elementary students, just to keep them involved and engaged in the activities that I do. And beyond that, trying to stay active. I live with my parents still, and trying to keep them going and not go insane here in self-isolation. In my chapter, we've been playing a lot of video games. We've done tournaments actually, and we're doing Zoom meetings. We have one next week ready to do for our chapter, and just trying to stay connected with everyone.
That's awesome. That's actually really cool.
Which console are you guys using? I know that was a big point of discussion last week for us.
Yeah, we use Xbox mainly.
It is.
We're doing a Call of Duty so we can do cross-platform, but most of the guys are on Xbox because it's better.
So I think we have a regimen now, SOP, right, Tim?
Is that right?
Yeah, can we invite the regimen boys?
Yeah, you guys are welcome to join our regimen, SOP clan.
We have one as well, SOP 22.
That's perfect. We'll just have a whole bunch of different ones everybody will put there.
Each chapter.
Get some full squads going.
Oh, yeah.
That is fantastic. Tim is fantastic, so tell your boys to bring their A game. Look at that. Did you see that slight nod that Tim had? He was like, yes, I am.
Like, don't worry.
I got you, boys.
Tim is a whole different person when it comes to Call of Duty. He's quiet and reserved 9 out of 10 times. Then you get on COD and he's just
I love it.
on level.
Get a national tournament going. New thing.
It's fantastic.
We're working
We
on
will
that too.
definitely touch on that. We'll put it out maybe on Instagram, but stay tuned. If you're interested, comment down below. Maybe put your gamer tag in there. We'll look you up. We'll add you to the regiment. It'll be a fantastic time. Something else that I wanted to touch on is, so I personally, I'm making my way back through all of the Marvel movies, starting from Iron Man, going in their actual release order, not their chronological, what year they kind of take place in time. Obviously, I'm using Disney Plus. I'm a big Disney fan. You guys know that. But I've been using Disney Plus. What series, what shows have you guys been watching on Netflix, Hulu? Which one do you prefer? Let's sort of spitball, and because I'm going to be done soon. I'm already on Captain America Civil War, so I've got 11 movies left. I've been cranking these out kind of quick. So if you guys want to, give me some recommendations, give the world some recommendation, I would love it. They would love it. We would love it. What you got?
I think everyone's on Tiger King now. I don't know if anyone's seen it. I've kind of started to one episode. I haven't really gotten through it. Has anyone else seen it here?
I haven't seen it yet.
No?
I've been told to by many different people to see it, but I still haven't seen it yet. Brian, one that you may enjoy, and a lot of people that have been to Disney World a bunch of times, there's one that they show like how they built the parks. Have you guys heard about that?
No.
So those look really cool.
That's
I've only seen like the first episode, but so far so good. Yeah. It's like how they built the park, or how they built all of Disney World, and it starts from when like Walt Disney first started it and did the first park and then died as they were releasing the other ones.
Yes.
Ryan's like, I've seen it.
Did I say that right, Ryan? Did I say that right? Well, yeah, if you have Disney Plus, that one for sure. For Canadian, I don't know if Community is back on American Netflix, but
It
it's on.
is.
Oh,
Is it?
no.
I have yet to start it yet, but I've seen it on Hulu before. When I think it's off Hulu and on Netflix now, but very good series. Big
That's
fan.
quality television right there. So
Really underrated. I feel like you don't hear about it, probably just because it wasn't on Netflix for the longest time, so it wasn't like in the Office,
Underrated.
Parks and Rec. But to me, it's right up there with like top 3 to 5.
That's strong. That's a strong.
I'm constantly entertained by it. I don't know, maybe it's just my sense of humor, but like just character development's good, constantly entertaining. It's like, I don't know, even the characters are like a few different types of humor within the episode, so it's like it's got a little bit of something for everybody, in my opinion.
Okay. Nick, what
I've
do
been
you got?
nerding out. I've been watching. I watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy for the first time, actually.
oh, I should
Nerd.
watch those.
Love Lord of the Rings.
It took.
Version?
Going back through Game of Thrones.
Demi just started reading the books, and I'm really excited about it because that means the shows are coming
So
out.
I got a lot to go through. For Disney Plus, I want to see the movie Onward. I heard that just came on to it
Yes.
like 4 days ago. I haven't seen it yet, but I know that's one. I know Frozen 2 just got on there too. Big Disney fan. Seen the movie like 4 times already. Great movie.
Cool. Are we more Netflix people? Hulu has Disney Plus taken over for you guys? Where are we at?
Disney Plus.
Much more Netflix for me, but Disney Plus I go to.
Yeah, like I still do. I guess I'm even between both.
Disney Plus for the movies, but Netflix for the shows.
Makes sense.
But yeah, that's about right.
Disney shows aren't usually the best, I feel like. Hulu's has good TV shows.
I don't even know what Hulu is. So
You
It's
guys
like-
It has like Rick and
the
Morty,
equivalent to-
Rick and Josh.
It's our Crave. Yanni, it's our Crave.
y'all have Crave down there in the South?
Yeah, we do. We have Crave. It's on the internet. You can, yeah.
Do you?
We don't have that.
How do you guys feel about Netflix Party or like Watch Party? Any of you use that?
I have. It's a good time. It's pretty
Oh,
neat.
really?
I'm
Right.
gonna try
Yeah.
that.
Excuse me, Yanni, I didn't hear you properly.
Just like hanging out with the boys, watching some movies. Like, what is it good for all situations? What are we talking here?
I think it's an all-purpose sort of thing. For those of you that don't know what it is or only have an idea, it's a Chrome extension. You get it added to your Chrome browser. You open Netflix. You hit the little extension, and what it does, it pops out this little chat on the side. You can invite different people, and you can, if you're the controller or whatever it's called, the main person, you can pause, start, stop, get to a certain section, and you guys are all watching it at the exact same time. So, you know, for those of you that are out there that have friends or maybe significant others that you're trying to watch something with, it's very convenient, but also it allows you to be like, you know, you won't be a couple seconds off. So, you know, somebody's like, you know, did you just see that? Or if they have like a question, like, who is that guy? You'll be on the exact same time, so you won't be confused. It's great.
So it's only for people who like people who talk during movies, then I would say. Definitely
Yeah.
not for,
Basically.
takes that to a whole other level.
That's true. That's true. I mean, sometimes people have questions. They need to know what's going on. They didn't catch.
Which
something.
I always say, if you paid attention to the movie instead of talking to me, you'd probably know the answer. So maybe that's just me.
Well, now we know whether or not Paul talks in the middle of movies.
Yeah,
or not.
don't invite Paul to the party. Ryan,
Yeah,
next time
I won't do the watch party.
throw me on, but leave Paul out of this. I don't want to be talking with that guy. Shh. You know, like, while we're in the chat.
Sometimes I just want to hear what's going on. That's all, you know.
One more thing I wanted to touch on, kind of in the similar realm. They've definitely made a lot of footsteps here lately in terms of streaming and getting information out, but really it was kind of always there in the first place. YouTube, it's big for me. The Sons, we're just now getting into it. Hopefully it'll become a nice home for some of our information and some of our reach out as well. But I guess I'll speak personally first. I'm a YouTube fan. I had a channel and whatnot. Subscribe. I'm kidding. Don't do that. But I follow PewDiePie. I follow a couple of different people, Cinema Sin, things like that. A little bit of gaming, a little bit of stuff about movies, Disney stuff, whatever. Do you guys watch YouTube at all? Who do you follow? What kind of videos are you normally watching? or just nobody
Yeah.
talking?
I saw they tried to do that YouTube TV thing. I don't know. I feel like it didn't really take off, but they did like the Karate Kid show. I don't know if you guys ever saw it. I think I watched maybe an episode. It wasn't bad, but just with everything else out there, I think there's a lot else going on to refocus my attention. But I thought that was interesting. They're trying to get into the TV world. But other than that, a lot of Greek music videos on YouTube. That's basically 99.9% of what I do on YouTube.
Yeah,
Mostly
I'm
with
not one-
lyrics, so I can try to figure it out. That's learn Greek, enjoy the music, kill two birds with one stone, that kind of thing.
Good.
Yeah, no, YouTube's really not my go-to. If you looked at my YouTube, it's probably 95% golf and 5% Greek music videos. So
I find I'm always going down like a YouTube, like a black hole. Like you start one video, you're on the next one, you're on the next one. Next thing you know, it's like 4 a.m. And you're just like, what did I just waste 3 hours of my life on?
Fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you to Nick for joining us today, talking about the Rising Suns weekend. We thoroughly enjoyed you. Everybody else, please be sure to tune in next week. We're going to have some new guests, some new topic. We will probably be discussing what kind of apps we're using. On TikTok, who do we follow on TikTok? Whatever the cool kids are doing nowadays. But yeah, we're glad that you were able to make it, and we hope that you subscribe, comment below anything that you want us to talk about, anything that you feel that we should touch on, bring up, discuss, or some funny things that you'd like to see on the show maybe. Also, be sure to check out our other video. Right now, we only have our episode 1 up, but pretty soon we're going to have a plethora of them. We look forward to seeing you next week, hopefully live. And yeah, you guys stay breezy.